Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Nikki, and in today's video I am going to be going through my entire Trader Joe's grocery haul. We just got back from Trader Joe's and picked up a lot of things. I honestly went there with the intention of it not being that big of a grocery haul, and then just kept grabbing things that I realized we needed. We don't always go to Trader Joe's, so when I do go there, there are some specific items that I like to stock up on. You guys already know one of them because I share it in every single haul, but I'll be going through everything that I got today, sharing some meal ideas and how I incorporate these things to stay on track with my weight loss and maintenance journey. I'll share the WeightWatchers points because that's what I track consistently with, but then I'll also talk about the nutrition, calories, and pop that information on the screen. And then at the end of the video, I will show all the prices shopping in store with me while I grabbed everything. If you enjoyed this video or find it helpful, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and start walking through everything that I picked up today, starting with the produce, which I didn't think I'd be getting that much, and actually I didn't get that much produce, but there were some things that I needed today, more so some of the freezer items. But first thing, I got some of this cabbage mix. This is really good for sesame noodles. That's what I use it for the most, but it's also really nice and easy to make into a slaw for tacos, or sometimes I'll do like a bang bang shrimp bowl or a hot chicken bowl and I want a slaw with that. And it's really easy to just mix this with some light mayo, Greek yogurt, and some seasonings and have that just quickly prepped. I got that for either of those reasons. It's 0 points on WeightWatchers and a nice way to get a little extra fiber. It's got 2 grams of fiber in the serving, and there's 3 servings in here. I grabbed some fresh edamame, which they also had some freezer edamame I'll show in a second. So I probably wouldn't have gotten this because usually I prefer the freezer one, but I grabbed it just in case they didn't have it when I got to the freezer section. And I will use this for like a poke bowl or sushi style bowl. This is also another ingredient I like to mix in with the sesame noodles with the cabbage, just to bulk up the meal, make it more filling, and also add some more fiber. This is 0 points on WeightWatchers, but for the serving of a half cup, it has 6 grams of fiber and 9 grams of protein. I usually just heat it up in the microwave, or if I'm heating up the entire bowl at once, I'll just add it to the bowl and pop it in. It's also really good in soup. I grabbed some jalapeno peppers, which I'll just use for different recipes. I don't know why lately I've been craving them more so in just random like egg scrambles or with some roasted potatoes. So I just grabbed a few of these to have on hand. I needed some more onions, so these are just some regular yellow onions that I will use for veggie mix, and then again, just different recipes. Sometimes when I'm making like fajitas, I like to do grilled peppers and onions, or if I'm making a pizza, I'll cut up some onion and add it on top, and it's just always one of those ingredients I like to keep on hand. For Adam's lunches for work, he got these oranges. They're 0 points on WeightWatchers and just a nice thing that he can pack quickly. Same with some bananas. He'll usually just grab a banana to pack with his meal every day. I also use them for protein shakes, creamies, and then we like to cut them up and add them to our bowls of cereal as well. We didn't need that many, but I did grab this 3-pack of bell peppers that I use for a bunch of different meals, whether it's a pasta dish or veggie mix like I mentioned. I just really like to incorporate bell peppers. They're 0 points and they add some good flavor and bulk meals up. I grabbed some snow peas that I will use for some stir fry. I usually like to make fried rice or the sesame noodles that I mentioned. I've got some chicken breast that I can cook up with the pea pods, maybe some pepper and onion, and then I'll have it, like I said, with rice or some noodles. I also needed some more apples, so today I got the Honey Crisp, 0 points on WeightWatchers, and I say this in every single haul. I don't think there's been a haul where I haven't gotten apples, but I have one every single day after dinner, so I'm constantly stocking up on them. It's a nice 0 point option that satisfies my sweet tooth right away. It fills me up a little bit before I have dessert. So it's just a healthy habit that I've been doing for years now that really helps me to stay on track. Okay, like I mentioned, I got a lot of freezer produce items. First off, I got 3 bags of this shelled edamame. I really love this stuff and it's so convenient to have in the freezer. It comes and goes at Trader Joe's, so I didn't even mean to say that. So I like to grab it when they actually have it. It's in the freezer section and they're already shelled edamame, so they do have one that isn't shelled and I feel like they have it more consistently than the shelled version. So I prefer this one because it's really quick and easy to add to soups or bowls like I mentioned. That's really what I use it for the most. Again, the serving for a half cup has 4 grams of fiber, it's got 9 grams of protein, and it's 100 calories and 0 points on WeightWatchers. And I really like their frozen fire roasted pepper and onion mix. I like to use this when I don't have veggie mix prepped. So most of the time I end up putting it into eggs or like breakfast scrambles, maybe with potatoes, or sometimes in wraps, although these are a little bit more on the liquidy side when you heat them up. So I usually like to do them more in like bowls and things like that. 0 points on WeightWatchers, and I feel like they have really good flavor. I also really like the Trader Joe's roasted corn. in the freezer section. So this is 0 points on Weight Watchers, but it's a nice higher fiber option. For the serving of 2/3 cup, it's got 4 grams of fiber. And I really like to use this for soup. And then whenever I make like a taco mix that I'm using maybe for like Spanish rice or something, this adds really good flavor because it's roasted. And again, it's convenient to just have in the freezer. So that's why it's nice for soup, especially. I can just take out the portion that I want. So I grabbed another bag of this because I just finished my last bag of it. And then I really like the Trader Joe's Cherry Berry Blend. This is 0 points on Weight Watchers and one of my favorite items to use as a base of my yogurt bowls. I just measure out a serving into a bowl and pop it in the microwave until it gets soft and warm, and then I mix in my yogurt and some cereal, and it is so satisfying. It's really sweet and it is easy to mix up depending on what fruit I use and what cereal. Sometimes I'll add a few chocolate chips or even a drizzle of peanut butter or PB2. So that's what I like to use these for the most. Moving on to some dairy items that I grabbed today. Not many, but I really do like Trader Joe's reduced fat cheese options. First off, we've got their light mozzarella shredded cheese, which is 2 points for the serving on Weight Watchers. It's got 60 calories, 2 grams of fat, 3 carbs, and 7 grams of protein in that serving. And I really like to use this for pizzas, or even the other day I made calzones and it was perfect for the filling. I also like to use it in eggs or pasta. It melts nicely and I feel like it's a nice portion for 2 points on Weight Watchers. Then I also got the light Mexican style cheese blend, which is 3 points for the serving, 80 calories, 4 grams of fat, 2 carbs, and 8 grams of protein. Same type of thing where I just use it for pasta, for eggs, for pizzas, whatever I'm making. A lot of the time I can just switch out whatever cheese I'm using. Some work better with different recipes, but a lot of the time it's kind of interchangeable with these. I also got a whipped cream. I don't know what it is. I've been really craving whipped cream on different desserts, whether it's like my yogurt bowls or like pancakes and waffles or ice cream. And I saw that they had a chocolate whipped light cream. So this is 1 point for the serving of 2 tablespoons on Weight Watchers, 15 calories, 1.5 grams of fat. And I also thought that this could be good on like coffee or hot chocolate, which I've been craving more just because it's still been really cold out. So I really like to top my drinks with a little bit of whipped cream, and finding a lighter option is always nice. So I'm excited to see how this chocolate one is. Okay, I've had some people recommend this 3-layer hummus dip, and I don't think we've ever tried it. I know Adam will definitely like it. It's got traditional cilantro, jalapeno, and spicy hummus, and it looks like pretty flavorful. For the serving of 2 tablespoons, it's 2 points on Weight Watchers, 50 calories, 4 grams of fat. It's got 3 carbs and 2 grams of protein, and I'm really curious to see how it is and how spicy it is. If it's super spicy, Adam will love it, and I probably won't as much, but I do like cilantro jalapeno, so I really want to try that one. So maybe we'll have to save this for a snack review or something. Okay, quickly going through some of the proteins that I grabbed. I really like the chicken sausages that they have. These are their roasted garlic chicken sausages. These are really nice for pasta and eggs and pizzas. They are 3 points for 1 link on Weight Watchers, 110 calories, 6 grams of fat, 3 carbs, and 11 grams of protein. And they are pre-cooked, so super quick and easy to heat up to add to different meals. These will also even be nice for like the Goodles cups that I like to have when I need like a quick and easy meal and I want to add some extra protein. But most of the time I end up using these for pasta. Then out of all the bacon that I buy from different places, I'd have to say that this Trader Joe's bacon is my favorite, and it's 2 points for 2 slices on Weight Watchers. For that serving, it's 60 calories, 3 grams of fat, and 4 grams of protein. And it's not something I have all the time, but I like to buy a pack of this, make it all at once, and then I can add a piece or 2 of bacon to my breakfast, or if I'm making like a BLT, or even just like a lunch meat sandwich where I want a piece of bacon. I also use it for burgers, and then of course pasta, stuff like that. But this is definitely my favorite bacon that we get. And then I just grabbed 2 pounds of ground chicken, which is 0 points on Weight Watchers. It's 92% lean. For the serving of 4 ounces, it's 170 calories, 9 grams of fat, and it's got 22 grams of protein. So I just actually made a big batch of taco meat. I don't need any of that, but with this, I'll probably do meatballs or maybe just some chicken burgers really quickly. I've also just been cooking up the meat all ground up and then adding some like garlic and just kind of generic seasonings, and then I can add it to a bunch of different meals, whether it's like a pasta or a pizza. I actually used that for the calzones I made in my recent video, and it was so good. So I may even just do that with this meat, but it's a nice higher protein option that makes meals more filling, and it's 0 points. Okay, I got a lot of pantry items today. First thing, I got these 2 seasonings. I really like Trader Joe's onion salt. I just like to add this to a bunch of different meals. I feel like the seasonings that I use the most, I like to get different mixes that are like garlic and herb. Then I also also really just use a lot of onion powder, onion salt, garlic powder. It really does add flavor to a lot of different dishes. So this is one of my favorite onion salts. And then I needed more Trader Joe's ranch seasoning. So this one works really well for chicken salad, or if I'm making like a Greek yogurt ranch or some type of dip that I want ranch to be in, I like to use this. It's also good on vegetables sometimes. Adam got a new hot sauce. This was one of their new items today. So it's a Bird's Eye chili hot sauce. 0 points on Weight Watchers. It's 0 calories, and I don't know how spicy it'll be. It doesn't really say. So he'll have to try this out and see how it is. We needed some tomato sauce, and I really like the Trader Joe's version. This is just their canned tomato sauce. It's 0 points on Weight Watchers, and I like to season it with those seasoning mixes like I mentioned, some oregano, some Italian seasoning, a lot of garlic, and then I use it for pasta or for pizzas, or even to dip calzones in like I did recently. It's just nice to have it on hand whenever I need some tomato sauce quickly. I have been craving a PB&J, and I haven't had jelly because my favorite jelly is from Trader Joe's, and we just hadn't been back there in a little bit. This is their reduced sugar raspberry preserves. It's 1 point for the serving of a tablespoon on Weight Watchers, 25 calories, 7 carbs, and 6 grams of sugar. I just love this on a PB&J. I also like it on toast, but I feel like I mostly just use it for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But it's a nice lower point option that I really enjoy the flavor of. And I don't really like jelly that much in general, so even just 1 tablespoon serving is usually perfect on a sandwich. I also love the Trader Joe's roasted red peppers. These are 0 points on Weight Watchers because they are in water. I really like to use these for pasta, especially tuna noodles. These are my favorite with that meal. They're 5 calories for the serving and 0 points on Weight Watchers. Usually I just strain them out, cut some up, and then add them to different dishes like pasta. We grabbed some chicken bone broth. So this is nice just to have on hand when I make different soups or ramen. For the serving of a cup, it's 45 calories and 0 points, and it's got 10 grams of protein. I like to get the bone broth just because it's a higher protein option versus regular chicken stock, but either works, and it's usually just a base for soup. We needed some more ketchup, and we like the Trader Joe's organic ketchup. It's 1 point for the serving of a tablespoon. It's got 20 calories, 5 carbs, and 4 grams of sugar. And honestly, I use this more to make different sauces a lot of the time, I feel like. But then sometimes if I want ketchup, whether it's with like fries or potatoes or something, it's always nice to have this on hand as a lower point option. I really like the Trader Joe's olive oil, and I just ran out, so I bought a new bottle of this. It's just a nice giant bottle that works well. I don't use olive oil all the time, but it is an ingredient that I incorporate a lot, whether it's for like salmon or roasting potatoes or vegetables. I just needed more olive oil. Okay, I don't know if this was new this time. These are crispy jalapeno pieces, and these will be so perfect for my copycat mac and cheese that I make from Noodles & Company, because it's pulled pork, barbecue sauce on mac and cheese, and then with crispy jalapeno pieces. So I'm excited to try these, hoping that they're not too spicy. But for the serving of a tablespoon, it's a point on Weight Watchers, 40 calories, 2.5 grams of fat, and then 4 carbs. And I was thinking even on the Goodles cups, this would be nice to add flavor, but this could also be something that's really good on like eggs or a breakfast scramble, or even like the jalapeno popper pasta that I make. This would be a really good topping. Okay, then my favorite item from Trader Joe's that I get every single time that we go, these are their Thai wheat noodles. I got 4 boxes of this time because we're completely out, and I don't know when the next time we're going back there will be. And this is just a nice item that stays fine in the pantry. This comes with 3 individual packets in here. Each one is 8 points on Weight Watchers, 310 calories, 2 grams of fat, 63 carbs, 4 grams of fiber, and 10 grams of protein. And I use this to make sesame noodles the most. Sometimes I use these noodles for ramen as well, but most of the time I cook up a veggie, a protein, and then add some soy sauce, maybe a little toasted sesame oil. And usually I'll do like 2 packs of the noodles to get 3 servings so that it's not an 8-point serving of noodles that I'm having. It's usually the perfect portion, especially when I bulk it up with like shrimp or chicken or imitation crab, and then like I said, lots of vegetables, whether it's that coleslaw mix, some edamame. I like to add peppers, mushrooms, onions, pea pods. Honestly, anything works really well with these. So that's why I like them so much, because it's one of my favorite meals, and I can pretty much make it with whatever I have on hand and just switch up the flavors and everything. I got a few boxes of these. I also got some of this couscous I really like. This is so good whenever I make falafel bowls. I actually wanted it the other day when I made one and I just had rice made. This is their organic couscous. It's 4 points for the serving of a 1/4 cup dry. Usually I just make a small batch of it in the microwave. I put it in a bowl with some chicken broth or that bone broth, and then I just microwave it in intervals and kind of fluff it up. It also tells you how to cook it on the stovetop. So either option works, but it's nice to have as a quick base for different bowls. A lot of the time with like roasted red peppers, hummus, falafel, chicken, that's my favorite to do with this couscous. Okay, this one isn't really low point. It was just a new item that they had, and my mom used to always get beer bread mix from Tastefully Simple. I don't even know if Tastefully Simple is still around, but it was one of my all-time favorite things, and I haven't had it since we used to get that when I was younger. So they had this beer bread mix that I really want to try, and I'm hoping it tastes similar to that. I haven't had beer bread in so long, but it is really good. It is 4 points for the serving. It's 110 calories, a 1/2 gram of fat, 23 carbs, 5 grams of sugar, and 3 grams of protein. So it will be something that I enjoy in moderation. And like I said, when I saw it, I just had to grab this because I want to try it really badly. I also got some dark chocolate chips. These are 4 points for the serving on WeightWatchers of a tablespoon. Not low point, but sometimes I like to add chocolate chips to my yogurt bowl, like I mentioned, or my ice cream bowls. But mostly I'll use chocolate chips like this for different baking recipes when I make my breakfast cookies, which I haven't made those in a while. I need some more in the freezer, so I might be making those soon. And I was out of dark chocolate chips. But these are the ones that I like to use from Trader Joe's. 80 calories for the serving, 6 grams of fat. They have 7 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, 4 grams of sugar, and 1 gram of protein. Okay, I did get 2 of these because Adam's really been enjoying this. This is the Maple Pecan Cold Brew Coffee Concentrate. It is 30 calories for the serving of 4 ounces, and it does have 1 gram of sugar and 6 carbs. So I like to mix this with my Quest Salted Caramel Protein Shake. That's actually what I had this morning, and it has become one of my favorite combinations. I feel like I say that all the time with the different cold brews I try, but I've tried so many good cold brews, and it's nice to have a lot of options. So we just got this to have for our coffee in the morning, specifically protein coffee. I always hear people talk about this dressing, and we recently got a Green Goddess dip that I loved. We used it so quickly. It was from the brand Good Foods, and I think we tried it in a snack review, so I can link that. But I made it as a pasta sauce, and it was delicious. So I saw this Green Goddess dressing I know a lot of people love, and I thought that maybe that would be really good as a pasta salad dressing. But also I just want to try it with a few different things. Even as a salad, we have a lot of romaine we need to use up, so that might even be good. It's 20 calories for the serving of 2 tablespoons and 1 point on WeightWatchers. It's got 2 grams of fat and 1 carb, and it's made with avocado, green onion, lemon juice, chives, basil, and garlic, and it is vegan. I'm really excited to try this. I don't know how we haven't tried it yet. I thought we did, but if we did, it's been years. So I'm excited to make this into maybe a pasta salad. Okay, Trader Joe's is always one of the places that we stock up on some freezer items, and most of the time it's little appetizer things because they've got some good low point options that we like to use for our appetizer nights or as a side when we make like fried rice and things like that. So specifically, we've got the chicken soup dumplings, which are just my favorite. You get 6 in the container, and it's 7 points on WeightWatchers in each box. So usually Adam and I just each have our own box when we make these. That's why we always buy 2. But 7 points for the container, 250 calories, 7 grams of fat, 29 carbs, 1 gram of fiber, 3 grams of sugar, and 16 grams of protein. And they just have really good flavor. You pop them in the microwave. And like I said, they're really nice with fried rice and maybe some like grilled chicken and stir fry veggies. And it's just a quick and easy option that satisfies my craving for some of those like takeout food dumplings. These are another thing that we like to have, again, as a side with those types of things. Or I add these to soup all the time, and they're so good. You pretty much just put them in the broth and they heat up on their own pretty quickly. They're chicken cilantro mini wontons. For the serving of 8, it is 2 points on WeightWatchers, 130 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, 21 carbs, 1 gram of fiber, 1 gram of sugar, and 7 grams of protein. So they are chicken, and if you don't like cilantro, you definitely can taste the cilantro in there, but I really like these in soup and then just as a side with different meals. And these are all really similar, these 4 in a row that I'm showing. So the next one I've got, this is the chicken shumai. Kind of similar where it's got like a chicken filling and it's like a wonton type dumpling. These are chicken and vegetable dumplings with tangy soy sauce, which we don't always use. But for the entire box, it is 12 points on Weight Watchers. It's 4 points for the serving of 6 pieces, 130 calories, 3 grams of fat, 16 carbs, 1 gram of fiber, 6 grams of sugar, and 11 grams of protein. And that serving does include using the sauce. So I think it would be lower sugar if you didn't have the sauce packet with it. But either way, these are really good, and we just heat them up in the microwave. Then this next one is another similar option that we like to use as like an appetizer or a side, although I feel like we use this more for appetizer night. These are shrimp noodle rolls. They are shrimp and mixed vegetables wrapped in dim sum style noodles. And I just pan fry them. They get nice and crispy, which I really like. Each one has like 2 little shrimp in it and then some filling, and it's just become one of my favorite little appetizer options. For the serving of 2 of these rolls, it's 4 points on Weight Watchers, so each one is 2 points. It's 120 calories for 2, 3 grams of fat, 19 carbs, 2 grams of sugar, and 3 grams of protein. I got some of these mini French baguettes. They haven't had these the past few times that we've been to Trader Joe's, and this is just one of those things that it's nice to have in the freezer if we don't have fresh bread from the farmer's market and we're craving it with like pasta or a meal like that. For 1 baguette, it is 3 points on Weight Watchers, 110 calories, 22 carbs, 1 gram of fiber, 2 grams of sugar, and 4 grams of protein. And we usually just heat them up in the air fryer. Okay, a few more freezer items. So this is just their organic jasmine rice. It comes with 3 bags, and you can just pop them in the microwave for 3 minutes to cook the rice. So this is another one of those things like that pepper mix where if I don't have any rice prepped, I just go to the freezer and grab one of these bags, and then it's ready to use as a base for bowls, or I like to use it for fried rice too. It's easy to just make and quickly mix in. It's 6 points for a cup, and each bag has 2 cups, 210 calories, 46 carbs, 1 gram of fiber, and 4 grams of protein. I grabbed some sweet potato fries. So again, I've been making them homemade too, but it's nice to have an option in the freezer when we're looking for a quick side if I have like burgers or something. These are 5 points for the serving of about 14 fries, 130 calories, 6 grams of fat, 19 carbs, 3 grams of fiber, 7 grams of sugar, and 1 gram of protein. And with these, like I said, I like to make them homemade sometimes, but I feel like these are a little bit closer to when you get them from like a restaurant, and it kind of just satisfies the craving for that without having to go out to eat. So I always keep that in mind when I grab freezer items like this, but it's a nice convenient option. Okay, I feel like we haven't gotten this in a while, but it's a nice convenient meal option when maybe I have a busier cookie day or something and I just need to throw something together quickly. This is their chicken chow mein, and a lot of the time with meals like this, I also add some extra protein and vegetables. So it does come with like broccoli, carrots, and all that, and it has chicken in there. But if I've got chicken prepped, I'll mix some extra in, and same with the vegetables. For the serving of a third of this package, it is 4 points on Weight Watchers, 200 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, 39 carbs, 4 grams of fiber, 6 grams of sugar, and 9 grams of protein. So it does come with a sauce packet that you mix in. It's got the noodles and then the chicken and the vegetables, and it comes together super quickly and easy on the stove. We were out of falafel, which I really like to use these for falafel bowls, like I mentioned with that couscous, and then a bunch of vegetables. So some cucumber, roasted red pepper, artichokes, maybe some hummus and chicken. For the serving of 3 of these falafel, which they're a decent size, it's 5 points on Weight Watchers, 220 calories, 12 grams of fat, 23 carbs, 7 grams of fiber, and 6 grams of protein. They're made with garbanzo beans, so that's why they have a decent amount of fiber in them. And I usually just heat them up in the air fryer and then kind of crumble them up onto the bowl when I make it. Okay, one last appetizer that we grabbed. These are the mini chicken tikka samosas. They are 1 point per piece. So the serving is 4 pieces for 4 points on Weight Watchers. It's 180 calories for 4, 10 grams of fat, 14 carbs, 1 gram of fiber, and 9 grams of protein. And I usually just heat these up in the air fryer. They are chicken, vegetables, and Indian spices wrapped in crisp, flaky pastry. And like I mentioned, we use them for our appetizer nights. So a lot of the time I'll make usually like 3 or 4 things. And most of the time we'll do like a chicken and then something like this that's like bite size. Maybe I'll make something homemade as a quick appetizer, but that's one of our favorite things to do. It satisfies the craving for those types of snacky foods, but we get lower point options like this that we really enjoy, and that just makes it more sustainable and helps us to stay on track. Okay, then moving on to the fun stuff, we've got some snacky items. First up, I've got peanut butter panda puffs, which are one of my favorite toppings for yogurt bowls, especially lately when I've really been enjoying the berry mix and like the cherries. It goes really well with the peanut butter because it kind of makes it taste like a PB&J. The serving for a cup of this cereal is 5 points on WeightWatchers, but I don't always use the full serving on my yogurt bowls. Usually I use even less than half of that. For that cup though, it's 170 calories, 4.5 grams of fat, 31 carbs, 3 grams of fiber, 9 grams of sugar, and 3 grams of protein. For chips today, we got their blue corn tortilla chips, which I really like with salsa and guacamole and dips. They're also nice for nachos. For the serving of about 9 chips, it's 3 points on WeightWatchers, 150 calories, 7 grams of fat. It's got 19 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, and 2 grams of protein. And one of my favorite things about these chips is that they're always really salty. So I like to use them, like I said, as a base for nachos. I'll put some cheese, some ground chicken or beef taco meat, and then maybe some salsa or some vegetables if I have like grilled onions. I really enjoy making plates of nachos because they're quick and easy, and another one of those meals that you can just mix up all the time. Okay, this was a new item. They are sweet onion style pretzel twists. So for the serving of about 12 pieces, they're 3 points on WeightWatchers, 120 calories, 4 grams of fat. They have 19 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, and 2 grams of protein in that serving. And this sounds like something that'll be really good for snack mixes. So mixed with some air pop popcorn, which is 0 points. Hopefully these are nice and flavorful with the sweet onion. These could also be a nice option on like a snack plate or just when I'm craving something salty. Okay, a few sweet items that I got. So we tried these in a snack review. They are the PB&J Oat Bites from Trader Joe's. They're 6 points for one on WeightWatchers and honestly really small for what they are, but they do taste really good. Compared to Bobo's, which we like, they're a little bit less dry, which I enjoy. I feel like they have a little bit more of that jelly filling in them. And even though they're 6 points, they have become a nice thing that I can just have before the gym as like a grab and go bite to eat. Like I mentioned, I haven't made breakfast cookies in a while and I need to do that because usually those are like 1 to 2 points for the serving and these are 6, but until then it's a nice quick option I have. For one piece, it's 150 calories, 5 grams of fat, 24 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, 10 grams of sugar, and 2 grams of protein. Then I was excited to see these because I tried them a while ago and then they weren't there the last time we went, but they had them again. They are their brown butter salted caramel mini biscottis. For the serving of 2 of them, it's 6 points. Each piece is 3 points on WeightWatchers, but I pretty much would just have one at a time when I was craving like sweet or like a cookie. And for 3 points, it really satisfied that craving. For 2 of them, it's 120 calories, 4 grams of fat, 18 carbs, 10 grams of sugar, and 2 grams of protein. And they've got these little chunks of caramel in them that are so good. It's not like chewy caramel, but almost like caramel chocolate chips. So I've really been enjoying these and I was happy to see that they had them again. And then the last thing that I got today, this is a little bit higher point, but I really enjoy these. The brand Love Corn had done them a while back and then I don't think they've made them since, but these are dark chocolate covered crunchy corn kernels. So for the serving of a 1/4 cup, it is 8 points on WeightWatchers. It's 170 calories, 9 grams of fat, 18 carbs, 1 gram of fiber, 11 grams of sugar, and 2 grams of protein. But I really like dark chocolate and I'm excited to see how these are. It'll be something that I enjoy in moderation and I take a serving out of the pantry and then just enjoy that again in moderation, not eating the whole bag at once. Sometimes it's hard to not do that, but I'm excited to try these and see how they are. I'm really happy with everything we got today. Stocked up on all of the essentials from Trader Joe's that we needed and then found some new stuff that I'm excited to try out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Stick around. I'm about to show you guys all the prices of everything. The total for this haul, I need to double check, but I want to say it was around $247. Not too bad. We thought it was going to be higher when we were checking out, especially because we kind of stocked up on some things like the 4 boxes of Thai wheat noodles and 3 bags of edamame and stuff, but got a lot of things to help us stay on track. And that's going to wrap up my Trader Joe's haul. So thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you next time.